Welcome back. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Right, so I just wanted to remind everybody about my Ko-fi page. It's Ko-fi with ko-fi.com/Lee W. Johnson. You'll basically find everything on there. So I do post when I remember. Sometimes I do forget, I do apologize. But you will find the videos every week on there, the Monday and the Wednesday videos. And I also have the memberships on there, so if you want to join the Demonic Wealth Web or the meditation classes or the Red Coven Magic School, that's on there. And I also have the shop. That's why I like Ko-fi, because it's got the shop, it's got everything. So it really is kind of like a hub for everything. So you can, on the shop, you can get my books, or you can get one of my services. And if it's just, if you'd like to just make a donation, just a tip, you can go on there and do that also. So, you know, Ko-fi's brilliant. I love Ko-fi. It's fantastic. Right, so I want to talk about, it was actually Andrea that sort of mentioned this. When we are doing magic for ourselves, quite often what we find is that it doesn't work very well, as opposed to when we do magic for other people. That works fantastically, but you know, we can do exactly the same type of working for ourselves and we don't get the same effects. And there's a reason for this, and I've got a couple suggestions on how to get around it. So the main reason is that, well, it's basically lusting after results, and we hear this quite a bit in chaos magic, especially when we're studying and looking at sigil magic. I think it was Ray Sherwin who actually started using the phrase lusting after results. So what this means is that when you do any kind of spell work, you need to let it go. And this is the big problem when we're doing work for ourselves, because it's extremely personal. So it's very difficult to let go and just be in that space, which is kind of like a void space. It's a place where we're not concerned about what the results are. You know, we do have the passion, we do have the drive, we do have the will to actually do the working itself, which we need in order to do the working. Otherwise there's no energy, there's no power that goes into it. We're just going through the motions and just saying the words and that's it. So we do need that will and that passion and desire to actually do it, and drive that energy, drive the magic forward. But what usually happens is, if it's very, very personal, and this comes in a lot when we're working with ourselves, and it could be if we are doing a working for a loved one, we want the result to really, really, really take effect. So we get to this psychological stage where we're kind of like trying too hard almost, and that kind of blocks it. Trying to think of a good metaphor for this. It's sort of like, I like the door metaphor in most things. So it's kind of like opening a door for someone. So when you're doing magic for other people, you just open the door normally as you would, okay, and the person can walk in. There's no obstructions, there's no difficulties, there's no problems. You just push your hand on, or push the door handle down, you open the door. When you're doing it for yourself or for a loved one, and you have got that desperate need for it to work, it's that desperation which causes the problem. So when in a situation like this, and using the metaphor, you're trying to open the door with desperation, and because of that desperation, you might put your foot in the way of the door, and the door won't open. because you are desperately trying to get this door open. And it's just a simple case of opening the door, but because of the desperation, it becomes a really, really difficult task. And this is very much the same with doing spell working for yourself. It's that desperation, it's that need, and the lusting after results that causes the problem, it causes the blockage. And so the two ways to get around this is firstly to work on it. This is obviously the recommended method, is to actually work on it, to be able to kind of remove yourself from yourself. And meditation helps with this a lot, because with meditation practice, what you find is that you become the observer. Through the process of and the training in meditation practice, you are often, we say, just let the thoughts go by, don't focus on them. And what happens is you're becoming the observer of your own thoughts. And through that process, you learn to become the observer of yourself. So you end up, you probably find that you end up getting into situations which can be quite emotional. And instead of reacting, you step back and you observe the situation to see what is really going on and how to properly handle it. This is all part of becoming this observer. And the same thing comes in spell work. So if you can separate yourself from yourself, become the observer instead of the participant, then you can do the magic and you can still have the passion and the will to drive that magic forward, but you are removing yourself, you're removing that desperation. And that's what's causing the block, is that desperation. It's that lusting after results, it's that absolute need for it to work. And therefore you can allow the energy to flow naturally and positively and the way it should flow. It's kind of like, to try and put it another way, you're doing the working and you're getting all ramped up and you're getting all the energy flowing and everything else, and then this desperation comes along and goes wham, and the energy just kind of shoots off to the side and wobbles around a bit and goes this way and goes that way, because it doesn't know which way to go, because now this desperation's come in and knocks it off course. Same thing with lusting after results, and if you're doing spell working or sigil working, or sigil magic or something like that, and after you've done the working, you are told to forget about it. It's part of the keep silent, part of the pyramid, or the magician's maxim, or there's various names for it. So it is that case of once you've done the working, then forget about it, release it, let it go, let it do its thing. But what we often find is that we start thinking about it, we bring it back into the conscious mind, we wonder, did we do it the right way? Did I ask for the right thing? If I get it, is it really what I wanted? Could I have done it a different way? If I had added this bit in there, would it have been better? I did this slightly wrong, is it going to mess up the magic? All of these little thoughts kind of get in there and they start whacking at the energy and start to push it off course, and eventually it just doesn't get to its target. So that really is lusting after results, and it's the same thing when you're doing magic for yourself. That desperation, that need for it to actually manifest so badly kind of creates interference. So that's the first thing, is to learn how to become the observer, learn how to remove yourself from yourself, so that you're not interfering with the natural flow of the spell work and the magic you're doing. The other solution to this is to work with somebody else. So if you know that if you do work for another person, that magic is going to work 100%, no problem, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But you also know if you do magic for yourself and the same magic, it doesn't work. There's something wrong, there's a blockage, there's that desperation which is causing it to stop. Then work with somebody else if they're having the same problem. So you do magic for them, they do magic for you. You both are helping each other, you are both getting the results that you need in your own personal lives, and that's a good way to actually get around it, I think. All right, I think that's it. A pretty quick one today. But you know, this is a problem that I think we all face, especially at some stage. I still face it now. You know, I do get into situations where I'm in a bit of a bind, and I've tried everything to try and get out of this bind. I'll then try Magick, and it just, you know, that desperation is there because I'm in this bind. I need to get out of it. I'm desperate to get out of it. So it causes a bit of a problem. There is actually a third solution to this, which I just thought about now. See, these, you can tell these videos are definitely not scripted. The way you should actually be doing magic and spell work is constantly. You should be doing magic all the time and keeping that flow going. So every single day you should actually be doing something, some form of magic, even if it is just sitting down in a meditative pose and thinking positive thoughts, even if it's just something as simple as that. But you know, every day you should be doing something, a road opening, a candle burning, something that keeps the flow going constantly. So we usually plod along in life and then we have a problem and we need a solution to that problem, so we use magic to try and solve that problem. And that's where the desperation then comes in. But if we are plodding along in life and doing magic constantly all the way along, we're keeping a constant flow going, and therefore we don't come up against these problems, these desperate problems that face us. Obviously they're going to come up from time to time. You know, life likes to throw us curveballs every now and then, but it does allow you to keep that flow going. And when that flow is moving, and it's moving naturally and it's moving positively, then when you do come up against these problems, it's just a matter of just adjusting slightly and keeping the flow going again. So it makes it a lot easier. And that's really what we should be doing. I know most of us don't. We get busy, life comes along and just piles a load of shit on us, and we kind of forget. But if you can keep that flow going, that is the best way to actually get through all of that. And then your own personal magic won't be that, it won't have the same desperation to it. So you won't find that blockage. Alright, so that is it for today. And I'll see you on Wednesday again for Ask Lee. Alright, see you then. Have a good one. Bye bye.